Hello and happy Sunday night. Welcome to episode 4 of the Doghouse podcast.
I had to make sure to turn my phone on silent.
Yeah, last time it was
every time so far.
obnoxious. All right, I'm going to, do you want to say what we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. So tonight, the title is you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, and we're actually going to be talking about goal setting and why you should goal set and set some direction for your life, because without doing those two things, it's kind of like building a house without a blueprint. But instead of a house, you're building your life without a blueprint. So, and we actually, this last year we built a house, and I couldn't imagine what it'd be like building a house without any type of blueprint going on. I mean, we made a lot of changes on the fly, but the core structure and design and overall theme of the house never really changed. There's just like a few minor things. Even like this fireplace back here, like we didn't quite have that picked out, but everything else in this room was. So it's good.
Yeah.
It made things a lot easier. So that's why I like, and over the last year, we actually been doing a new, like a goal setting technique that's been working really well for us. And we're going to kind of go over that like this next week with everybody in a few different stages, because it's taken, several months.
Yeah, to really fine tune. And we're still always working on it. It's definitely a work in progress. So, but tonight we'll talk about how we never set goals for so many years. It was not.
You never really set goals. And I just realized we never even introduced ourselves. I'm Alex.
I'm Joey. Hi.
So, but like, I know you never really set goals, and I guess I never really set goals. I more or less just like set dreams, because a goal usually has some specific measurement and specific tracking points along the way. And I was just like, yeah, we're just going to go and do this. And hardly ever did I ever get close to that. So.
And I was the type that why set goals and never going to achieve them. And I know a lot of you can probably relate to that. That's literally what it was. Like I always, if I did set a goal, I would get disappointed. And I remember specifically, this is probably where it all rooted from, but in 8th grade, and I was actually just talking to, when I was, went on my girls trip, I was talking about this whole thing, kind of this epiphany thing. So in 8th grade, they had, it was like a physical fitness test that you could do. You had to do so many sit-ups and so many push-ups and so many chin-ups and all these different things. You had to run a mile in so many, or in such a short amount of time. And I remember I didn't even realize it was the award that you could get until over halfway through this physical fitness test at the end of the year. So I'm going through and I'm like, okay, once I found out about it, I was like guns blazing. I was going for it because I wanted to reach that goal. I wanted that award. And I remember at the end of the year, it was right at the end, we were figuring out if who all made it. And I didn't make it. I had missed the mile by just a short amount of time. But I didn't have enough time to redo the mile. And I just remember falling to the ground and crying because I was so mad and sad and upset that I didn't reach my goal that I had achieved. But I also, now looking back, I also didn't set myself up to achieve that goal. It was something that I was willy-nilly, yeah, let's have it. Yeah. And it was just obviously traumatic for me.
Well, and I know that's one big difference between you and I is I would set these goals basically on a whim, and then if I didn't hit them, then I'd just be like, oh, I didn't really want it anyway, so it's not a big deal. Where you're no, I really wanted that. And
I failed. I didn't make it, but it was something I had to now a long time ago or a long ways now is figuring out that you have to set yourself up for it. So it was kind of one of these things. Why or yeah. Oh, so the reason I never reached any of the goals that I would set, and I would say never, but a lot of times I wouldn't reach my goal, but it was because I wasn't setting myself up for success. Oh, we actually have, okay. I don't like how it doesn't do that.
It takes a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would set the goals. I wouldn't achieve them, but I wasn't setting myself up to really achieve. And so
You basically would just say like, hey, I want this.
Yeah.
And then.
But even at that, I got to the point where I wasn't even doing any of that. I wouldn't say, oh, I want to go I want to or win this award, or I want to achieve this goal. I just stopped doing anything that had to do with goals for like 10 years. It was just like, nope, just coasted through life. Everything was fine the way it was. I never wanted to grow. I didn't want to change. I was content, but I definitely was not happy. Definitely was not happy.
You were in coasting mode, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So
about a year ago, we had actually met our life coach, and he had us try out this new technique. And like Alex was explaining, we are going to go over that with you guys. We're actually going to explain what we've been doing over this last year to really, I would say, propel us, especially at least me. We're going from like never one ever time setting goals to now writing them down, figuring out how to.
Yeah, like we write our goals down every single morning.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh. Did I cut you off?
Yeah, it's all right though.
Go ahead.
But yeah, like never setting goals to then like figuring out what we're doing. So one thing I want to talk about is, why is setting goals important? Yeah. So Alex, what would you say is important about actually setting goals?
I would say what is important is that it kind of gives you a direction on where you want to go with different things. And like, you know, I know a lot of people set goals, some, you know, are financial, career-wise, fitness-wise, but you set goals for pretty much every aspect of your life. And I think that just helps really drive in the direction that you want to go, versus just kind of waking up every morning and not saying you don't have a plan, but it's weird for me because like I'm like a big dreamer. So for me, I guess in my mind, I was always kind of setting dreams and not goals. But the important thing about goals is usually you have some way of actually measuring and achieving them. And that makes all the world of difference, because even just yesterday, so one of my goals for the last 6 months is to have ran the 5 mile Crim. So the Crim is a race here in Flint, and it's been going on. I think it was like 35 years or 38 years. So it's been going on for a long time. Yeah. And like probably the last decade, I'm like, oh, I want to run that. Oh, it'd be cool if I ran that. But I never even took the time or effort to figure out like, oh, when do I need to sign up by? Oh, what's a training schedule look like? Oh, how much time should I dedicate to actually training? Like, what are all these things?
There's different. It's not just the 10 mile.
I can't tell you how many years I was like, oh, the Crim's today. I really wanted to run that. Well, obviously, I really didn't, because I would have known that. So yesterday, I actually got to knock off one of my goals on my list by running the half Crim.
Half Crim.
That I have to so shamefully say. The full Crim's 10 miles.
I'm glad we did not do the 10 miles.
Yeah. So
I might be just now crossing the finish line.
Yeah. But, you know, one of the things is, like, I had said that, like, I wanted to run the Crim. I thought it was going to take us a little over an hour to do that, and we ended up running it in 54 minutes, which is pretty good, because when we run in the mornings, we do like 2.5 miles, and we actually ran 5 miles faster than what we would run 2.5 miles times 2, if that makes sense.
We definitely didn't walk as much as I thought we were going to. I was like, yeah, 2.5 miles, we're just going to walk the rest of it. But It was actually, I wouldn't say it was easier than I thought it was going to be, but it was more obtainable than I thought it was going to be. I totally thought we were just going to walk the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know, like, I think we would come across the same problem with setting goals, though, because it's like you would set them, you'd get discouraged that you didn't achieve them, and I would be like, oh, well, we got close enough, so, or I didn't really want that thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it's funny how we're different, but still so much alike.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is important for setting goals is actually making them attainable. So yeah, you might have this really large goal of maybe it's you want to start your own business, or if you want to run the CRIM. You know, just because you say you want to run the CRIM doesn't mean you have to run the full 10 miles that very first time. Maybe it's making it something smaller. If you know that you're too busy to, you can only run twice a week. Maybe you only run the half CRIM the first year and the second year, but then that third year, when you know you've got more time and dedication and more like miles under your belt, then you go and do the 10 mile. So that's one thing that I've really had to work on, is actually making my goals obtainable.
Yeah, like,
and do them in stages is, I guess, the big thing, because I would always take off this huge chunk, like, yeah, I want all the way. Let's just go and do that like next month. And it's like, no, it's not really gonna work that way.
even like my goal, I really wanted to run the full CRIM, but with finishing up the house and the amount of time that was left to train, and like we probably could have ran it, but we would have felt terrible today.
Yeah.
And afterwards, we ran that and actually felt really great afterwards. And even today, we were a little sore, but we're feeling good.
Yeah.
So it's just making your goals more bite-sized. There's nothing wrong with that, because I think a lot of people confuse movement with momentum. And when you make your goals smaller like that, you can actually build momentum with them. So.
Yeah. So this goal setting technique, we want to share it with you guys because it has seriously been so impactful on both of our lives over this last year. We want to share it with you guys. So we're going to be doing a few more live videos on this technique of what we're doing, how we actually go about it, our growth through this, because even just doing this technique, it has changed and we've grown just from doing this.
Yeah.
It's not really just, I mean, it is cut and dry, but you do have to have some knowledge behind it. It is a learning stage. So stay tuned. We will be sharing this technique with you guys. We will be, I'm not sure when we'll be.
Tomorrow?
Yeah. All right, tomorrow we'll do another live on
8,
this technique.
8:30. Should work.
Should work, yes.
Yes.
We'll keep you guys posted.
Well, we're gonna turn this into like a weekly thing.
Yes.
Because we're actually gonna go over like some specific metrics to help figure out like how successful you've been at it. And I think each week it's gonna be fun because like we'll go over what our numbers are, and then maybe you guys can go over what your numbers are, like share your numbers with us too. I know we tagged a couple of our friends on here that we've already told about it. So it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a great time. So accountability is huge. So that's why we want you guys to join it with us, because we want to be your accountability partners. Because we want to help you, whether you are in network marketing or not. It doesn't matter if you are just living life and not really happy with where you're at, or you really want to propel yourself forward. Definitely come and join us. We would love to have you. If you know of anybody who's just kind of coasting there and they want more out of life, tag them, share this with them, because we want to
actually tag anybody that says that they hate setting goals, because that was your thing.
Yes.
Like right before we started doing this, or even when we first started, you're like, no, I hate goal setting. This sucks.
Yeah.
Even our life coach was
Should I pick it up and scoot it over? Actually, you know what we could do? Yeah, is here, let me. If I take this closer to the door.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the things we could set a goal on is actually doing a checklist on what to it says their internet speed's fine, but actually running a checklist, I can't see that, just so you know. I don't think it has anything to do with how far we are away from it.
Okay. I'm trying to just get connected.
Yeah, I just tested the speed. Everything was. Yeah, I need to make a live checklist. First, we do this, and then we do this, and we do this.
Alright, what would you change?
I would just make sure we always run a speed test before, but I guess that wouldn't fix this problem because it says the speed's fine. It says our internet speed is typical. For some reason, our server is in Toronto. That's the closest server to do a speed test.
I'm gonna just end it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just put a comment.
Yeah, we could pin a comment. Like, we pretty much were ending it anyways. So.
Yeah. I hit your hand because you were gonna start going into it.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep it like.
Yeah, you're right.